truth.
Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and we have CPI data coming in this morning, as expected, a little bit higher. So we talked about this all week long. Yesterday, I guess. It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday, man. It feels like a Friday already. Can we be off work? Can we just take the week off, OC? Let's do that. Guys, looking at the chart right now, we are below the point of control on this fixed range volume profile. Right now, we're testing that point of control. If we do not get above this support, we're looking at ranges down in here. And if you guys don't know where that range is at, that's coming in right around $110,000. We do have a CME gap still sitting down there. The CPI data this morning caused a little bit of uncertainty in the markets. They kind of like, whoa, I don't know what's going to happen here, so let's pull back. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, what do we get? A little pump up action. Matter of fact, looking at the crypto bubbles here, you can see we're looking at the daily here. Nice mixture of red and red in there. Go to the hourly, and it's all turning green again. So we're going to talk about this. What levels do we need to watch on this data, on these charts? And then what does this data mean that came out today on CPI? We're going to break all this down and a whole lot more right here today on the Piper Academy Network. This is the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats, everyone. Get your notebooks out. Class is in session. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Shout out to everybody that's joining us already this morning. But let's go ahead and get my co-host up here. We're going to run through this show today and shove as much info as we can into that 6-inch space between your ears, guys. The most important space on the entire planet for your success is that 6 inches between your ears. It's called your brain, and we got diamond brains. Drop the diamond brains in the chat if you guys got diamond brains, because we're just going to keep holding on to as much info as we can to make our decisions. So we're not irrational. We're not emotional. We don't need that. We don't need that
emotional
in our lives at all. So OC, man, what's up, dude? How you doing today, bro? I had a lot of coffee today, man. Can you tell? I woke up early. My dog said I need to go outside, and I was like, I guess I'm up. And so, yeah, lots and lots of caffeine today. But shout out to you, man. How you doing today, bro?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I think I'm overcoming my sickness, so caffeine should be a little bit less active today. Less muting, maybe. I can promise that, but I'll try to measure that muting stuff going on. I haven't had any coffee, so I'm pretty freaking jealous of you right now. Oh man, that's not good, bro.
Look, it's nice and frothy and foamy. I got my Nespresso, machine with my creme on top, and yes, it's delicious, and it's caffeine boosted. This one has double caffeine in it too, and plus I got my little espresso shots and my little double espresso shot. I love it. I love the Nespresso, man. It's great.
Oh man, you're just killing me. I'm right now craving for a coffee. But the good news is that MJ actually offered herself to make me a little coffee. She's gonna be making me a cold latte. So hopefully it's full of caffeine, and I'll be more ready to go in a minute. But how are the markets?
Speaking of cold brews, real fast, I got this one coffee that I got. It's NOLA is what it's called. NOLA. It's Louisiana coffee, but it's made to be a cold brew, and it's got chicory in it. So I'm excited about drinking that. I guess it's a New Orleans thing, a Nolans thing. But how the market's doing? What is it? What?
By the way, did you ever open up the tequila I sent you?
I'm going to send you a picture of it. I did not take it to Las Vegas. I forgot to take it to Vegas. So now it's going to be a housewarming party that we're going to have here, and we're going to break it out here. So maybe you can get your visa and come up here, or better yet, just jump the. Oh wait, no, that's gone. There's that opportunity. I was going to say jump the border and you get a bunch of money, but we quit doing that. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to the crowd here, guys. We got the whole gang in here. Let me pull that up. Where you at? Where are you? There we go. We got BC Port Corp in here. Alexander G, Justin Eubanks, Darren Does Things. The DDT is in the house with us right now. We got Drew Harp. Who else? Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith, I saw you in there. Eric Wallen. We're going to talk about you today, Eric Wallen. You are a part of the You are a part of the show today, Eric Wallen. You're part of the data that we're going to talk about. A to Ace. I told everyone to come get the morning market open report from you this AM on my show. I appreciate you, man. If you guys are not following A to Ace on his show, he's got First Strike. I think it's called a Strike Zone. Strike Zone. But it's a pretty good show. I checked it out. I don't get up early enough to watch the whole show, but I do go back and check it out. It's pretty good there. Who else do we have in here this morning? We've got, looks like Baba Yaz is in here with us, joining us. Harp is in here. Dylan VA, Donato Cabrera is in here, and Ninja Glock. I appreciate you guys all joining us here. But without any further ado, can we go ahead and get into what is going on the markets, what the CPI data meant, and then talk about these charts? First of all, though, I think we need to give people an update on where we are right now with Bitcoin OC. So if you want to go ahead and pull up your Bitcoin chart, let's just talk about real quick Strike Zone. Thank you, A to Ace. Appreciate that, man. There we go. That's the show that he has, by the way. You guys need to go check out Strike Zone. Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin chart and talk about where we're at. Because we talked about this level as the first line in the sand yesterday, and it's the 116, 117 range. So I want to know what you think about where we are right now and how the markets are looking, how the charts are looking, and then we'll come into the news, talk about all that data that's causing this volatility. OC, what you got for us on the chart, bro?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what is going on right now. And I do have a little prediction that I did in the late show with Trading with OC. So I'll walk you through how things are playing out. Something that exactly where we left out on the morning market report, it was right on this candle. If you guys remember this this third candle right here, this one right there. All right. So what happened is that I was seeing a little bit of a doji candle at that moment, and I mentioned, hey guys, I'm gonna keep my stop loss as is. I'm gonna be taking just enough profit to compensate for that possible stop loss that I had, right? And other than that, I'm just gonna let it run. What happened is that I started seeing that volatility weak, and I pushed through on the same candle. Usually that means that the candle is going to be a strong candle and confirms a downwards movement or an upwards movement if that would have been a bullish candle, right? So it is an engulfing candle. Therefore, I decided with that new information just to move my stop to entry, just complete to a 50% take out of my or cash out of my position, and then just let it run. So it took me out right here at zero loss and actually on some gains. What happened, it is, remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, the kind of like the same retest that we were expecting before, but somewhere a little bit higher. And that is because of the fair value gap on daily that we might have in here, or even this fair value gap 4 hours. What seems to be happening, it is that we are forming a head and shoulders. This head and shoulders so far seems to be cricket to the right, and we haven't had the right shoulders just now. Just keep that in mind, because right now we are below the zero line, and despite it seems like it could be reversing here, well, we are in a resistance. If we can make it and bounce back up, we might be able to have a higher low and take out the possibility of a head and shoulders. But so far, a head and shoulders is what it's playing out at this point. You will also see that I have other squibbly lines in here. Let me just get rid of this area right here. Oh, man. These two signals, because remember, these two signals, they were my next possible entry zone. I'm still waiting for that to burst through, retest, and off we go, because let me show you what we talked about yesterday on the other classes. It was this pattern right here, right? We have the first hump, the second hump, and then we create a triangle. All right, what kind of triangle? I will need to create a little bit of a spaghetti-ish. There we go. And then breakout, retest, off we go. All right, so we need to take into consideration this triangle and also where this previous zone it's located. All right, let's go and take a look at what had happened. And come on, I don't want to. What is it not locked? All right, so it always should be locked. All right.
They don't know what the fuck they're
doing. You need to incorporate the song rap in there. I think that is fantastic. So there we go. Once again, we have that little intermission, or that little break in the candle. We have the first hump, the second hump, a triangle in here, break a retest, off we go, right? And this repeats over and over and over. So yesterday I did create a couple of that. So once again, first hump, second hump, triangle, right? Break a retest, well, did not have the retest, and off we go. So this is a well-known pattern, right, that plays out in Bitcoin for a possible continuation. So I was looking at the Bitcoin price action, and I said, hey, this looks like the actual first hump, right? I was saying, hey, what if this is my first hump? Then my second hump should be all the way up here, and then the range should be this one, right? But actually, yesterday night, I was like, hey, what if this is not the actual first hump? In the first hump, we already had it, right? It was this one right here. So what happens, our next low should be somewhere around here, right? So I did not move these lines. Still, look at where we have the first hiccup, the second breakthrough, right? And then we can go for this previous low. So I am updating as we go. And then what we need to see, it is a pattern continuation, which is going to be a break through this resistance, go and take somewhere around the 122-ish, and then a retrace. This part will give us two things, both a possible head and shoulders, which I think might not be playing out. Sorry, possible double top that I might think might not be playing out because of this hump, or the actual triangle that we are expecting out of the first, second hump, triangle, breakout, retest. So we still need to take a look at how this plays out throughout the day. Seems like we are going to be having the reversal and maybe a breakthrough, maybe somewhere around 122. So that's what I'm right now standing at, waiting for the development of that triangle.
Awesome. We got a super chat. I'm going to get to that right after the news, Louis B. But he said, yeah, $2 super chat from Louis B. Appreciate you, first of all. Man, you're awesome. But he said, Piper, what about Caspa? Rotation to ONDO with all of my Caspa. Let's take a look at that here in a bit. So we'll look at ONDO and Caspa right after the news. And then also A to Ace update there. He said, Trump just called for a 300 basis point drop in rates. We talked about that last week, actually. He just doubled down on that again. So, yeah, 300 basis point drop is what Trump is calling for right now, with the inflation going up and job numbers static. That is doctorate wise, like doctrine for how you manage the Federal Reserve and cut rates does not match up. So very unlikely there, Mr. Trump, Mr. President. But hey, he's not going to stop trying. So don't forget to smash that like button. That is according to Alexandra G. She said those rookie numbers there are not working.
Pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
And then shout out to Papa G. That's my buddy Gino from back in the day. He was one of my bouncers at the bar, good friend of mine. And he said, bada bing. That's what he's in here doing. Good morning to Curtis Hill, Buck, and Drew all joining us. And Drew joined as a member now. So thank you. Appreciate you, man. And thanks for joining the alumni. And shout out to 2Dub. Let's go jump in on this news, OC, and let's talk about what's going on there. And then we'll come in, talk about Caspa and ONDO and what we can expect for Bitcoin, some levels to watch. So, and to the person that just hit the dislike button, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. It's still engagement. Peace, love, and profits, bro. Let's go jump into the news, guys. Today's news brought to you by Optery. This is one of our new affiliates that you guys can check out down below. And I'm very selective on who I support with links in our Discord, Discord and in our descriptions. But this is one of the ones that BC Port Court brought to the table. And so go ahead and check it out, guys. This is remove your home address, phone, and other private info from Google and 645 other sites. Like 30 million people have opted in and got out of the data serving miners, right? There's data mining that goes on out there that is how you end up getting hit. These data brokers have all your data. They pick it up from all these places, and then they hit it in there, sell it out to other people. And then next thing you know, you're getting this text message about this and this email about that. And it's how they get all of your info. So if you guys are interested in it, check out the link down below. You can sign up for free today, see where you're listed at. And if you decide you guys want to go forward with getting it, it's worth checking out. So Optery, just wanted to give them a little shout out because definitely something that is worthwhile having in today's world of info. Let's jump in on the news side here, guys, and take a look at the crypto market cap right now. It's currently sitting at $3.717 trillion. Current trend line on this is at 4.063. We're about 8.5% undervalued right now. We've talked about what happens historically when we break this median line. We typically run up into these upper bands, and that would put us somewhere in the ballpark of about, I want to say it was like 30 trillion, $40 trillion. So guys, that would be still like another 10x from here. Looking here at the current risk bands right now, Bitcoin has pulled back a little bit on its risk levels, sitting at 58.4% there. That means that we're still out of 2x on DCA. We're going to talk more about DCA today. Should we be DCAing at these levels? There's a debate on that, and there's a whole article we're talking about that. That's where Eric Wallen comes into, by the way. So 58.4% is the risk band that we're looking at on Bitcoin currently. Looking at Bitcoin dominance with stable coins, we're sitting at 63.69% without stables. Take those stables out. We're sitting at 68.16. Bitcoin dominance still holding up strong. I saw a lot of stuff on X, and they're like, Bitcoin dominance is about to flip and this and that. Guys, take out the stable coins. Money's not going other places. The downward trend that we're seeing on the dominance right now is going into stable coins, because when you take away from the stable coins, it's still at 68%. So Bitcoin dominance is holding strong. Do not believe the hype. Alt season's not about to kick off immediately, and Bitcoin dominance is not really going down. It's just people taking profit and moving it over into stable coins. So let's go over here and take a look at what the fear and greed index is today. We're sitting currently at 73 in greed for the fear and greed index. I want to talk about this because this is in a little bit. This is what I was just talking about. $3.5 billion profit realized in the past 24 hours on Bitcoin alone. And a lot of that going into stable coins, guys. So let's look at liquidations for the past 24 hours. Nothing major, about $500 million. It's still up there, but nothing major. In the past 24 hours, 587 traders got liquidated. The total liquidations coming in at 504 million. Largest single liquidation was on Hyperliquid. It was a Bitcoin trade for 3.15. At least it wasn't, 90 million like some of these that we've seen recently. Let's go look at the crypto bubbles. Talk about the prices here, guys. Bitcoin down about 3% on the daily right now, sitting at about 118, 101 right now. Ethereum holding that $3,000 level, still down about 0.2% on the day. It's actually doing better than Bitcoin right now. XRP is down about 2.9%, BNB 2.9. What's the big movers today, though? What has moved on this on the rankings, and then what has had big drops? Dogecoin's down 5.5%. That's a pretty harsh drop there. Well, not for an altcoin, I guess. I guess if Bitcoin's down 3%, you would expect that to be down even more, but it's not. Stellar Lumens is down 4.3% at about 45.6 cents, and then SUI is up 1%. Which is one of the oddballs out there. SUI, we've been DCAing in that one for a while here on the Piper Academy Discord. So shout out to the alumni over there making those moves. Bitcoin Cash is down about 4.2%, and that's really it. Nothing's really moved from the rankings over here on the market cap. XRP is still sitting at number 3, which is just phenomenal. Overall, guys, kind of just sitting steady, and the alts are holding pretty good there. So Charles S., the dislike was accident. I removed it and absolutely love this show. Hey, Charles S., appreciate you, man. No harm, no foul, bro. I don't get upset when people hit anything. If people don't like the show, it is what it is. And if people like the show, then, come back and hang out with us. I don't stress about it, but I appreciate you letting me know that was an accident. Much love to you, and thanks for being here. Let's go talk about Charles S. The dislike was on accident. Don't worry, we will not kick you out of the class for anything, man. Let's go take a look at what we're seeing here on the stock side. We need to go to US. Let's give this a refresh. Look at the current Wall Street setups here. Guys, Dow Jones currently down about 0.3%. S&P's up about 0.2%. And the NASDAQ, the tech sector, up about 0.76%. Russell 2K has got to fall back today, and the VIX slowing down. That's a good thing. That means the volatility index is showing us volatility is dropping a little bit. But the S&P hits a fresh record above 6,300 points, guys. So S&P making new records on this data. Bitcoin showing a little bit of support. So at the end of the day, I still think we have higher to go. Looking at the European markets last night, they were all in the red. Looking at the Asian markets, they were mostly in the green after having a series of red runs. But I do want to point something out here, guys. This is interesting. I noticed this morning. This is a tinfoil hat moment here, OC. The bonds market used to show the U.S. here first every time. This is where I've always gone to look at the 10-year Treasury yield. It's not showing up here at all. At all. And it's kind of weird that they just stopped showing the 10-year Treasury yield for the U.S., but everything else is still here. So I don't know what's going on with that. By the way, the 10-year Treasury yield about to hit 4.5%. It's actually pumping like crazy. So it's going to be, I don't know. I don't know if CNBC is trying to do some funny stuff here, what's going on with it, but the bond for the U.S. has not shown here for 2 days. So looking at oil, guys, oil is pulled back from that $70. It's now sitting at 66.43 still, and gold is down just slightly, about 0.1% there. Silver still sitting at $38.32, but down 1%. Copper starting to cool off a little bit after that 50% tariff call that Trump said about Canada and copper, and then platinum and palladium both to the upside. Guys, look, platinum's up 0.3, palladium's up 1.3. So, OC, you should have gone with palladium, not platinum, bro.
I know.
I know. Should have listened to Piper. Let's go talk about the CPI here, man. Looking at the CPI data that came in this morning, core inflation rate month over month was previously at 0.1%, expected to be on forecast 0.2, but consensus was that it would be 0.3. It came in slightly better than the consensus, but in line with the forecast at 0.2. Core inflation rate year over year was at 2.8, expected to be 3 on the consensus, 2.9 on the forecast. Forecast was correct. It was 2.9. Inflation rate month over month, 0.1 was at 0.3. Guys came in at 0.3 on forecast. It lined up on forecast. The one that didn't is inflation rate year over year. We were previously at 2.4%, had a consensus that it would be 2.7, forecast to be 2.6, came in line with the consensus. What does this mean? Inflation is going up. And this is why I said with inflation going up and the job numbers showing that we are showing strength, there's strength in the labor market right now. We are very likely not going to see a rate cut. Definitely not going to see it in July. I still don't know that we see it in September. Let's go take a look at why this could be. And let's refresh this and get these latest numbers because we just got that CPI data. Yeah, we're looking at a 97.4% chance right now that there's no July rate cut at all. No change at all, sitting there static. Look at September now. September, no change. Guys, it's been moving up and moving up and moving up. It's at 44.1% chance that we do not get a rate cut in September. And when this thing was first started off, this thing was like a 90% chance of a September rate cut. And I was still saying, guys, October, not going to see it in September because I'm not seeing the data lining up that allows that avenue of approach for the rate cut to happen. And now we're seeing that come into play. September, moving more and more less likely to occur. October is the first time that I think that we get into this window. And look at this one. The easing on that one is 78.5. It's at a 21% chance of no rate cut in October even now. So October, I think, is the first window of opportunity for that rate cut to happen. Quantitative tightening at this point will remain the status quo, and I don't see us easing anytime soon. Matter of fact, let's jump back over here. Let's go into X marks the spot, and let's talk about this. Kabisi letter was talking about this morning. Breaking June CPI inflation rises to 2.7%, above the expectation of 2.6. Core inflation rises to 2.9, below the expectation of 3%, and CPI inflation in the U.S. is now up for 2 straight months. For the first time since January 2025, the Fed pause will continue. In just 2 months, CPI inflation in the U.S. has risen from 2.3 to 2.7. Critics will blame tariffs. Praisers will blame base effects. Regardless, the Fed will not cut interest rates this month. Bitcoin and gold knew this was coming months ago. So shout out to Kabisi letter. Excellent post there, really wrapping up what we're seeing with inflation data right now. And we continue to make the right calls on what is coming down the pipeline and what is the likelihood of our rate cuts happening. So What was some other stuff that I saw here? Let's go talk about longs versus shorts. I wanted to give you guys an update on this because I did tell you yesterday, look, the shorts were starting to flip around and the longs were coming into play. If we look here now, we're sitting at a 51.42% of all trades are in the short setup for shorts right now. 48.5% are long. So we're still a little bit in that short side, but about 1% are sitting in longs and short, meaning they're hedging right now. And if we take a look down here on the just Binance itself, it is sitting right now at 54.5% in short. So I do think that right now we are seeing a buildup of the longs, but as long as these shorts are higher than these longs, I don't know that we're going to do much. Yesterday we had flipped where it's 51% long, and so we did have a little bit of a pullback, and now we're showing that strength. Shorts are starting to come back in again. Likely going to see this accumulation period on the charts, and that's what we're going to watch for. Looking at the liquidations here on the 6 months, guys, liquidation zones, we don't have anything near us. We've cleaned out above, we've cleaned out below. We don't get into a level until about 107, and I think that's going to be a pretty large jump to get there. What do we have here? Large Bitcoin investors. This is what I wanted to talk about, and this is in line with what we have back here on X. And then we're going to talk about should you be DCAing at these levels and why it may or may not be a good idea. So according to Crypto News, Bitcoin sees $3.5 billion profit realization in 24 hours. What's next? In one of the most significant distribution events this year, Bitcoin investors booked in $3.5 billion in profits from long-term holders. It was about 56% of it. So long-term holders are taking profits right now. Short-term holders, 44% of it took profit. So this spike signals that smart money may be exiting at current highs, possibly anticipating macro volatility or a local top. Is this healthy profit taking or the beginning of a broader correction? And let's go look at this article and see what they're saying here. Amid these minor outflows and Binance inflows, Glassnode recorded one of the year's largest profit-taking days. Bitcoin's climb above the coveted $120,000 was short-lived as the cryptocurrency pulled back to below $117,000 amidst renewed volatility. And I was actually watching Kyle Chisholmore the other day. I think it was yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Yeah, it was yesterday. And he was talking about a wall. There was a sell wall at $120,000. And so he absolutely nailed it because it did have a big sell-off there. On-chain signals reveal increased miner activity, which suggests short-term selling pressure. Are miners cashing out? Well, according to this, they might be. As the price approached new high, miner position index, the MPI, which gauges the ratio of miner outflows to their one-year moving average, spiked to levels that was last seen during major sell-off periods. This means that some of them may have begun taking profits into strength, a pattern often seen when the MPI rises above 2. While such moves can introduce short-term selling pressure, CryptoQuant explained that historical patterns indicate they do not always derail broader bullish trends. So are we going to hold that broader bullish trend? That's what we're going to look at in here in a second. When demand from other investor cohorts remains strong. So the one thing that I wanted to jump over here and look at on X, this was from Eric Wallen. Good old Eric Wallen. Here you go, Ballin' Wallen. So this guy was talking about here, investing $500 to $1,000 every month into Bitcoin is an almost guaranteed way to become a millionaire. So why do most people not do this? And Eric Wallen said, because we're like 70 days away from a traditional cycle top. I'll invest that amount when we enter the bear market year and all of the treasuries fail. I'm not buying Bitcoin at all here, just holding. Great comment. I even said smartest thing I've read on X this weekend. But let's talk about the Piper plan, the DCA levels that we talk about. And there's actually an article on this that says, is investing $1,000 a month into Bitcoin now a smart move? Analysts are weighing in. And get down here, recent analysis largely agree that retail investors have yet to return to the crypto market. Keep that in mind. Even though Bitcoin has reached new all-time highs, however, there are new signs that Bitcoin's price surge may soon lure back retail participants. But is it wise to start buying Bitcoin now that it has entered the six-figure territory? Should you start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin weekly? If you haven't been following the Piper plan at all, and you haven't been DCAing this whole time, should you start it off now? For example, Drew just joined as a member, right? He now has access to the Piper plan, and we give you the levels of, hey, use DCA 2, DCA times 3, whatever, right? And then we look at that 70% wristband for our profit taking margins, where we start taking out 30% and then 50%, so on and so forth as it hits these wristbands. Well, according to this, right now, should you be starting it if you haven't started now at these levels? According to Bitbo's calculations, if a retail investor had invested $1,000 a month in Bitcoin over the past 2 years, they would have accumulated about 0.4588 Bitcoin, yielding a 114% return. This result demonstrates that Bitcoin continues to reward long-term investors. While Bitcoin's performance may no longer match previous cycles, it still appeals to anyone looking to preserve value amid inflation concerns. But what if the strategy started now with Bitcoin's price already well above $100,000? Recently, an investor named Steve, who openly admits he's not a hardcore Bitcoin fan, announced that he was going to start investing $1,000 per month throughout Trump's presidential term. The amount reflects the average contribution of a retail investor. Steve's decision raises a question. Could this signal be a broader movement that retail is preparing to flood into Bitcoin? OC, let's jump over here and talk about this, because we talk about the Piper plan all the time. It's a DCA strategy with the profit taking ending, right? And that's where I think we excel and succeed in what we're doing for long-term investment into Bitcoin, right? Flipping our profits into more when it pulls back. But if you hadn't been investing at all in Bitcoin, would you tell people, hey, let's start investing now? And what are the factors that would go with that? Because obviously, if you're looking to make profits right now, probably not wanting to DCA right now. But if you're looking at this from OC's perspective of this is my retirement, would you start DCAing now if you've never touched Bitcoin before? What's your thoughts?
Oh man,
A few moments
I need a big red thing to tell me you're muted. So the actual setup that I would actually do for myself, that I'm doing for myself, and that I would actually suggest even for a new member or a new person, new I don't know, sibling, uncle, whatever. I would say start now. Start now, regardless if you are actually buying the top. Because if you are here for the technology, no, just kidding. If you're here because you want to make some profit for the long run, and that is the key, long run, it doesn't matter what you buy as long as you do your average setup. Remember that we saw a video, we presented a video on the Piper Academy where we said we have three different examples, right? We have the DCA person, right? We have the person with the worst luck that always bought the tops right before the dumps. And when we have the best lucky person that started or that bought at the very low, right? So despite all of that, whoever come on top, it was always a DCA investor, right? How could that be? Because it leveraged, the constant buys. So, and there is an added value, the wristband that we have created or put into the Piper plan, because not only leveraged just traditional DCA, it also leveraged the possibility of the calculations for how risk is it right now. So you double your entry when we're low, and you reduce your entry when we are high, right? So I would say absolutely start today. I mean, don't waste your time. Start today. Especially the one takeover it is if you missed. Well, where is the best time to invest? The best time to invest is right after the worst day, right?
Yep.
So exactly, it's just, I mean, everything is going to hell. Well, then you invest right after that day, right? So it doesn't matter if it keeps going downwards as long as you have a plan and you're not investing money that you are using for paying the rent, for paying your food, for getting your children to college. Nothing like that. You need to get from your earnings. You need to get your investing money, and from your investing money, that's what you put into your savings. If you don't have investing money, take a hard look of what you're spending in, right? And if it's vital, I mean, do you really need a Hulu account? Do you really need a I don't know, a Netflix account? Do you really need recurring buys from Amazon? Yeah. So I would say that could actually transform into a lot of money. And I think this is what gets most of people, right? Well, I want it right now, but then just saving it for the long run makes me wait not 1 month, not 1 week, not 1 year, but somewhere around 5 years to actually take profit. Patience will prevail. And that is something that if you really want to make it, you need to work on your patience. And yeah, wrapping this up, absolutely. I would say start today.
So Eric Wallen said, long term, yes, sure, start your DCA. But if you're short term, you're talking about this cycle, you might want to wait for a pullback. And he's not wrong at all. We've only got a little window left of the cycle if it is a traditional cycle. Of course, there is the narrative that this could end like March 2026, be a little bit of extended cycle, but that remains to be seen. We have to operate on what we know until we see something new, right? So, but looking at this, guys, I just want to show you, like, this is a DCA, starting a DCA from, I got to go to November of 2021, because that was where we had our top. So let's go November 2021, and we'll go like right here in the middle. There we go. To current. If you were investing $1,000 a month from the top in 2021 to current, you would have invested about $44,000 so far. You'd be up 185% right now. Okay. The thing that we do differently in our Discord with our Piper plan is we do dynamic DCA, meaning that the further it goes down in the wristbands, meaning prices pulled back and you hit lower wristbands, the multiplier goes up. So if we look at this from a DCA perspective dynamically, where we're doing that as it goes lower, we're adding more in, multiplying that DCA times 2, times 3, whatever. Let's look at this and get this set to where about the same amount of money was invested, $44,000 on a equal amount every month. I think if we put this about $400 and then do this on a dynamic DCA, it's going to be pretty close. I guess $350 maybe. There you go. So that's about the same as doing $1,000 monthly, just every month. Guys, look at the difference of following the dynamic plan that we put out every Monday. 237% gains for about the same amount, 1.44 Bitcoin. Let's go back and look at the other one. Let's go back and look at what that was when it was 44. Go back there. There we go. Put this at 1,000 again. So remember this. $45,000, 238%. Put this at $1,000 and go to DCA. 44,000, 185%. So we're absolutely crushing a static DCA plan with the Piper plan that we're doing over there. And of course, when this hits 70% wristbands, 80% wristband, 90% wristbands, you're taking profits on those levels, 30% out, 50% out, leaving 20 for a Hail Mary. So you guys can see that if you're doing this long term, the DCA is the way. But there's a better form of DCA. So these guys are like, just set them out, do it every month, and follow it. I will outperform that at every single turn in the long run on how we're doing the Piper plan. And we're going to take those profits, sit on those, and we're going to up our DCA amounts, and we're going to keep flipping even more Bitcoin into it, compounding the profitability and gains of Bitcoin. So that's how we do it, bro. That's how we do it. All right, OC. Let's talk about what was it? Let's talk about Caspa and ONDO. We had a request for that. It was asked for by Lewis B. So I want to go talk about that and get that up here on the chart. We are seeing a pullback, by the way, right now from that level, that point of control on Bitcoin. It rejected on it pretty strong there, and I said we needed to get above this. So it does look like we're going to have a little bit more downside today, but I think overall, if we keep an eye on this level here, if we lose this, again, we have a CME gap that's sitting down just below us. If you guys don't know where that is, it's right there, coming in right about 115 to 113. Might be a really good area to start watching, but I will point out that on Bitcoin right now, we are starting to get a curve up here of money flow. We are starting to get a curve here on the oscillator ribbon, and it looks like we are starting to flatten out in the bottom trough here on volume. Looking at the daily, we're also showing support right there in our upper gold band of our predictive ranges. Despite all of this showing, hey, there's likely sell-off coming, we are showing some levels of support. I'm watching, again, that 114 range I think is going to be key. So let's go look at ONDO, look at CAS. and answer the question that Lewis B had. Let's look at ONDO first. ONDO's done really well. Let's put this on the daily and just talk about it here. Wow, sir, how many fixed range volume profiles do you need? There we go. We are sitting above right now the quantum reactor on the daily. We are sitting above the point of control right now, but it looks like we have hit our top side levels here. We got a downtrend arrow. Money flow is starting to come down. ONDO may have made a little run here, but I will point out that we did get a bullish VWAP print here off of Chart Prime's Market Dynamics, or Oscillator Pro, I should say. No, Oracle Pro Plus. Thanks, Jesus, too many indicators. What I'm watching here is this pulls back and we get a bounce on here. This might go for another higher level even again. But right now it does look like we have met the end here. So if you have got some profits here on Caspa and you want to push this over into ONDO, I think you're going to have a better buy-in spot. It might be a matter of sitting on that USDC and letting it make some money, because Caspa, if you take a look in comparison, Caspa's rejecting on its dynamic reactor right now. It can't get above. You can see the VWAP fired up here, but it's been resistance. We got above it, but we just can't get through this cluster of resistance here. If you take a look, going way back in time, this was a level that I said we had to hold as support, and it became resistance, and we're still sitting even below that. So I would say that right now they both look a little dumpy, but I think that Caspa looks much weaker than what ONDO does. I think if you were to take some profits, if I was doing this for myself, I would probably look at taking some profits on Caspa and start dollar cost averaging in that Caspa into ONDO, not do an ape in all at once. I can always set it in USDC, make 4.5% and let that run. So look at SUI. We had a request for SUI. OC, you want to pull that up? You want to pull that up and take a look at SUI, and what's your thoughts on ONDO versus Caspa, what you just saw? I think ONDO at this point looks stronger than Caspa, but I think I would wait for even better on ONDO, or at least a show of support, higher lows and stuff like that. Your thoughts on that, and then jump over to SUI.
Absolutely. So I think the same. I mean, we might be able to. Well, we're getting ready to jump into SUI, but talking about Caspa versus ONDO, I think so far I also agree that it looks stronger right now at this point, but things might be changing in the future. Something important that I want to bring up, and I don't want to be the bear or the party pooper, it is that looking at cryptos at this point is not bad, but remember, do not rush on it. Wait for the proper setup for it to play it out, right? So look for the downtrend, look for the break of the trend line, look for bottoming signals, look for topping signals, look for retrace, right? And try to enter at better prices. If you really like a coin, right? And I'm telling you out of experience, right? Like, for example, I like Atom, and I invest at Atom, even if I don't invest on something like ADA, for example, right? So, and that I know ADA is going to outperform Atom, but since I still like Atom for what it represents, well, then I stick to it and I try to make some profits on it. So if you're after the money, just be cold-headed and go for whatever looks the best and has the greater potential. And of course, try to time the market. When I say time the market, just go for support, resistance, and trend lines, and look for those breakout retests, right? But other than that, stay on the same boat that you are, and ONDO looks much better than Caspa for now. And unless something interestingly happens with Caspa, I think it's going to remain the same.
Yeah, both of them are both sitting right now. You see Caspa and ONDO right here. Looking at it from the all-time highs, how far they are from the all-time highs. ONDO's like 57% from its all-time high. Caspa's like 58.9. I think that ONDO looking stronger, and they're both about the same distance from their all-time highs. I'm thinking that ONDO does look look like the better choice. But again, I would wait until there shows either a break of structure, change of character, higher highs, higher lows, where, hey, look, this is really starting to move up here and feed the winner as opposed to just aping in over there. You can make 4.5% while you're dollar cost averaging in on those things. And that's how I would do that myself, not financial advice. OC, let's take a look at SUI and see how you're looking over there on that.
Absolutely. Seems like we already had an analysis on SUI. I was expecting a push up from this area to bounce back down. Seems like that push out played out first in here with this support. Completely fine, and it's hitting right now some targets. I did not took this SUI trade. Despite that, by the way, yesterday was a very nice day of taking some profits. So if you missed that out, check out the late show with trading with OC, live trading with OC. We took some profits in there, very nice ones. Yeah. A couple of other things in here, and let me control C this. This is exactly what I refer when you're looking at Caspa and ONDO, right? For example, if you really want to invest on whatever you like the most, just wait for the trend line, right, to have a breakout, retest your entry, and as we go, you add to your winners, right, or you cut your losses if it turns back around. So just letting you know at this point that we're having a little bit of a hiccup in here. The structure of it is different from this one because this one, it was a downwards motion, right, which creates a bull flag. We'd actually not actually, I mean, definitely took some targets right there. So far, this could change, but so far, seems like this structure is going to the upside. So it's flagging up to the right, and usually those flags tend to break to the downside. So be careful with SUI. It's looking toppy. In fact, it's looking that toppy that we are on previous major highs. All right. So be careful out there. What I would actually wait for is to see if I continue here, which is going to be a little bit more likely, and then maybe look for a retracement somewhere to 3.70. So if I set up something, I will be looking for a short and then a long. Something like that. All right, and my stop loss at the top and having a little bit more of a wiggle room, and then aiming for then a long at the retracement zone right down here, as we might be able to bounce back up. Remember, this needs to go with confirmation. It's just not a copy and paste trade because it is not fully developed. But so far, SUI not looking bad. For the short, but jumping into for a long right now might be a little bit dangerous.
Yep. Yeah, I think I was looking at SUI on our DCA plan because we do altcoins in there too, and I just wanted to see what it was at this week real fast. SUI this week was a 2x, so DCA times 2, currently sitting in the wristband of about 438. But if we go back, I just want to look here real fast and look at our Discord history here. We were actually calling for some pretty hefty. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about, guys, about how the lower it goes, the higher the DCA amount, because back on June 2nd, we were doing a DCA times 3 with a wristband of 372, go back even further than that. And I think some of these were like 5x, 4x, and 5x entries on SUI. Yeah, there's a 2x there. Let's see here. We added, there's a 2x. I guess it's later in time. There's a window in here, though, that I think SUI was hitting some pretty horrendous multipliers. 1x, no, that's Solana. 3x right there. 3x on SUI back on June 9th. We were hitting that. And on June 9th, if you look at that price on SUI back then, let's go to SUI. June 9th. Yeah, we were talking, let's put this on daily. On June 9th, when we were doing 3-time multiplier here, we would have been right in this range here. So we would have been DCA in 3x here. I'm pretty sure this would have been on the 22nd here. Actually, it'd be the 23rd. That would have been the bottom. And let's go see what the level was then on the 23rd of June. 23 June, there's 16... 23 June. 23 June, we called for a DCA amount of times 4. So we were doing 4 times our DCA amount on SUI at the bottom, where, hey, if it's $100, it's now $400 this week, right? And so we would have caught a lot of movement. Let's just see from June 2nd to now what that DCA amount would be. Let's go here. Let's go to SUI. SUI, sir, where you at? That's Pepe, Ave. Did I pass it? I may have. Nope, there it is. DCA. We're going to do dynamic DCA. This is weekly. We're going to do, say it's $100. Okay. And we will start this on 2025. And this is going to be June 23rd. Okay. So yeah, if looking at this here on Monday, that's when we put it out to current, you would have put $1,500 in. You'd be up 30% right now on your DCA amount. Average price would be $2.99. And currently it's sitting at about $4. So pretty good run up there just from June to now. So guys, if you're looking to even spot trade, just spot trading itself without using any leverage, you can still do a pretty decent turnaround on some of these altcoins just off of the DCA levels. So SUI is looking a little toppy right now, but doesn't mean that it doesn't still have room to go. Really, it's going to be about what does Bitcoin do. I just think that people need to be aware that Bitcoin's dominance not really dropping the way people think it is. Despite it, it is going down, but it's not dropping the way people think it is. People think that it's moving into altcoins now, and that alts are getting ready to pump. I don't think that is the case. I think that what we're actually seeing is people taking profits on Bitcoin, and it's moving over into stable coins. And once retail starts to come back in and it shows this rally again, a lot of that money will probably come back in when people realize I've got a couple more months here on this market. Shout out to Eric Wallen on that call. I agree with you totally, bro. OC, I think that's about all we have. Is there anything you wanted to show the people before we headed out of here today? We're not redirecting to anyone today, so there's no reason to stretch it out. But is there something that you're watching or something you want to show the people?
Not much. Just the only thing that I really want to push that today is just the same thing that I did yesterday. Throughout today, things might be moving a little slow. We might have some movers at the end of the morning. Nonetheless, it is a good opportunity to start looking where it could be your next entry. So do not waste the time just looking to where to trade right now, but invest your time into doing your analysis and where you could be opening your next trade. I think setting those levels right now will save you a lot of headaches when things start moving, and you will be prepared when the time comes. But other than that, basically that's it.
Awesome. Everyone, we appreciate everyone that joined us here today. Shout out to all the alumni there in the chat. Appreciate you guys all being here every morning and joining us. That's why we get up and do this. We appreciate also the Optery. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, it's right there. It's right above my head when I go here. See, that's a new sponsor. Go check them out, guys. They will help you not get scammed. That's what they'll do. And it's free. Click the link. It's free. Go check it out. And if you see how much of your data is out there, and if you decide you want to go with it, go ahead and check it out. Be safe. Be safe. That's what it's all about. We appreciate also that if you guys, did you do a show today, OC?
What is it?
Are you doing a show today?
Yes, I'm doing a show.
All right. Make sure you guys tune in to Trade Live with OC this afternoon. Check out Markets After Dark. I think today is the last show for LBC, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. He's going on vacation. And then tomorrow morning, go see BC Port Corp with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. bringing you guys the news, the data, the economics. Tomorrow, guys, PPI, producer price inflation, is going to come out. So we do have another day of data coming out tomorrow. But at the end of the day, just be calm. Be calm, be centered, no emotions, just profits and good risk management. That's all we're going to do here. So we'll catch you guys all tomorrow morning. Until next time, guys, trade safe. As always, use some risk management. Peace, love, profits. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll
gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes and session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the Soul Train ready. What a line from OCIE, form a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that lumnada source spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Sound off to get with them. The ZTS
Emotional damage! Yeah, that's my love line, you know what I mean? You can't handle the truth!
That was awesome, dude!